Hey everyone, today I want to talk about our attitudes and how we build relationships as we carry ourselves through our careers in Luthery or any other creative field. Right off the bat, it's important to understand that there's different types of knowledge. When we go to college and we learn primarily through lectures, textbooks, presentations, what we're receiving is explicit or implicit knowledge. And this is knowledge that's transferred easily through the spoken or written word or can be put into some kind of tangible form like a presentation. When we are working in skilled trades, crafts, art forms, anything that requires some hand skill, what we are learning is tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is not easily transferred through written and spoken word, and it kind of relies on someone who is more experienced, a master craftsman, basically showing you and helping you work through trial and error and failures and just the process of learning by hand, and really kind of observing, getting your hands involved and doing. When we're children, before our language skills develop, pretty much everything that we learn is tacit knowledge. How to use a fork, how to walk upstairs. We watch our parents help guide us. This is tacit knowledge. So because trades and a lot of art forms are built on tacit knowledge, that means that relationships are foundational to our development of skill and what we know. So it's important to consider that as you move through your career in Luthery, that the relationships you build and the community that exists in the trade as a whole is really foundationally linked to what we are able to learn. So the point here is basically that we have to move through our careers in a positive way so that we can facilitate positive relationships, genuine relationships that are primed for sharing information, and that we have that we are working on cultivating kind of a community that supports that as well. In the old days, we had trade guilds, and that's what the trade guilds did. They created these structured educational systems where you had apprentices, journeymen, and masters, and that the relationship dynamic between those three phases of your education and the guild at large created a community that fostered the passing on of tacit knowledge. We have that today in trades like carpentry, plumbing, steelwork, through the unions, but we don't really have that anymore in trades like this. So it comes, falls upon us to build that community and to uphold that tradition of relationship building. When I worked for Tom Rebecki, I worked for him for about 6 years, and I've known him for eight years plus at this point. And one of the things that he always used to say was, you have to be a good citizen in the community. And he was speaking to this, to what I'm saying. One of the remarkable things about Tom, you can focus on his instruments, and maybe less people know that he's actually a very accomplished repairman as well. You can look at those things and say, well, he's successful because of his designs or his craftsmanship or whatever. But I actually believe that Tom has had the success that he's had because he really believes in this premise that you have to be a good citizen in the community. You have to contribute positively to the community. You have to build positive, genuine relationships with people. And that's how all of this kind of works. In the 8-some years that I've known Tom, one of the most remarkable things about him to me is that I've never heard him say a bad thing about another luthier. We've had conversations about how other luthiers have said bad things about him, and in those conversations he always landed on what that person has contributed positively to the community. He always saw the good in people, and I think that that has contributed immensely to how he's been able to develop his career and his standing in the field. So, you know, that's just an example of how important it is, you know. So being a good citizen means many different things to me. It means being fair to my clients. It means being fair to myself. It means being transparent about my process, you know, being honest and, you know, sharing information where I can with younger makers. But one of the things that really is important to me personally is making this decision. So every day I come into my shop, I have a decision to make. We all do. We can decide to go this way or that way. Down this way is we look at people in the business who we think are more successful than us, and we become jealous, we become resentful, we become bitter or cynical about what we perceive that we're not getting, whether it's attention from magazines or sales or whatever that we think we deserve. And that's an easy road. That's easy to fall down that direction. When I was younger, I went down that path a little bit, and I started to resent some other makers who I thought were more successful than they should have been, or who I thought were more successful than me when I thought I should be successful. So it's an easy road to go down, but it's totally toxic, and it absolutely undermines our ability to build positive relationships and to cultivate a healthy community in the trade. So we can make another choice, which is to understand that we can't control everything, and all we can do is do the best we can with what we can control. We can choose to be proud and happy for the people who are successful in this business, even if they are someone who has half your experience. It doesn't matter. If they're doing good work, they deserve to all the success that comes their way, and to be happy for them and to support them. It means you know, not getting down on failure, because accepting the fact that failure is inevitable at some point. Things are not going to work out as you want them to work out. But if you have a positive attitude and you've developed good relationships, then there's always some kind of opportunity that you can capitalize on. You're not going to see that opportunity, though, if you're cynical and resentful and bitter. So, you know, just having this attitude opens you up to other opportunities and silver lining when they present themselves. So that's the choice that we have to make every day when we come into our shops, is to choose to go down this positive road. And it's not, you know, I think when I say that, it's easy to hear it as sort of this sort of like a woo-woo kind of new age, everybody's good sort of thing. But understanding tacit knowledge and the importance that relationships and community plays shows you that there's a practical necessity to choose that path over the more negative path. So with that, I'm not going to make another video till next year. Hope you enjoyed this one. Leave your comments, shoot me emails, let me know what else you'd like me to talk about. I haven't gotten many suggestions, so I'm kind of just shooting in the dark. I would love some suggestions about topics of conversation. And yeah, have a great holiday, have a great new year. I hope that 2017 wraps up nicely for you, and that 2018 brings you tons of contentment and success. Till next time.